If you gave me a penny for every time I would be surprised that a billion-dollar company turns out to be extremely evil, I would have exactly 0, because most of them besides Steam are in fact evil. A few months ago, I did a video covering the Subnautica 2 situation, where the Subnautica 2 developers got robbed from their parent company, Krafton, that gatekept $250 million as a payout. If you didn't know, 4 years ago, Krafton bought Unknown Worlds, the studio behind Subnautica 2, and part of that deal was a $250 million payout that was supposed to be paid out exactly this year. That $250 million payout was locked behind a revenue goal, and the Subnautica 2 devs were supposed to meet that revenue goal pretty easily because Subnautica 2 were supposed to be launched by now, right? The Subnautica 2 launch was supposed to help them get that revenue goal, but Krafton then decided to not only delay the game, even though from the studio that makes Subnautica, it is claimed that it is ready to play, to avoid paying the studio the $250 million payout that was promised to them, but they then dared to blame the top 3 from the studio and kick them out and blamed them for the delay. So not only did Krafton obviously try to sneak out of a $250 million payout, they blamed the 3 people that started Subnautica from the ground up. And this situation ended with the 3X studio developers then suing Krafton, and since then it's basically been radio silence. But now a new news article broke, which I just have to talk about. That is insane, because the Krafton CEO allegedly asked ChatGPT to help him find a way out of paying Subnautica devs their bonuses. First off, I'm really fucking annoyed at this point. There's not a single news article that doesn't reference AI in some way as being one of the bad things that happen these days. It's incredible. I can just legitimately not avoid AI. When I Google something, there's an AI summary that mostly is based on Reddit. Reddit is like the worst source possible. At that point, use Twitter as a source. What? Anyway, that is insane. Because the entire situation took so long because Krafton basically said, hey, we are not trying to not pay you guys. It's those 3 people that from the ground up built the studio that you're currently working on. Those are the bad people. Those are the evil ones, not the billion-dollar corporation. That could never be evil. Guys, come on. Do not believe me. Why would I screw you over $250 million? That's nothing. Show me one source. Show me one thing where a billion-dollar corporation is actually really bad. But now it turns out the Krafton CEO asked ChatGPT to help him find a way out of paying the Subnautica 2 devs. And the best part is, he said that because he wanted to avoid the professional embarrassment of being seen as a pushover. Buddy, I got some news for you. This might be a surprise, but I think in general, it's pretty much a pushover if you try to take people out of a $250 million paycheck, right? I did kind of kill your entire family and stole all your money, burned down your house, blew up your car. But you know, ChatGPT said, that's okay. So I don't know. I think we're pretty much equal, right? No? You don't like me? Come on, man. What? Today's pre-trial brief, available in full via game developers, seems aimed at refuting those claims, alleging that Krafton was fully aware of what was happening at the studio and in some cases had even expressed support of it regarding Krafton's complaint that Cleveland had effectively abandoned Subnautica 2 to focus on making a movie. For instance, the filing claims Krafton actually encouraged that. Now, if you don't understand what's going on, one of the biggest claims from Krafton's side was that Cleveland and one other developer that was fired by them was apparently not even working on Subnautica 2 anymore, but focused on a side project of a movie. And that was like the biggest claim, that these 2 were no longer working on Subnautica 2, but on a movie, so they are now fired. But there is some sources that say something quite funny and unfortunate for Krafton, because they claim that the 2 studio heads that got fired were tasked by Krafton themselves to work on a Subnautica movie and no longer focus on Subnautica 2. I don't know if this is some mastermind play by Krafton to think that, hey, we're gonna task them to do something else and then blame them for not working on Subnautica 2 after we said they shouldn't work on that but work on something else. That's so genius. There's no way these people have a brain and can just remember the stuff that I told them. And this might seem like a hot take for some people, but I don't think the studio heads that got fired by Krafton don't have evidence to back that shit up. It would be astronomically stupid to claim that Krafton told them to make a movie, even though Krafton never told them to make a movie. I can only imagine that there is emails from the CEO of Krafton directly saying, I'll give you a head, just make that movie, brother. You're all good. Already concerned that Krafton had paid too much to acquire Unknown Worlds, Kim feared that making an earnout payment to founders would earn him the reputation of a pushover and endanger his position as a CEO. You now have a way better position as a greedy bitch that doesn't want to pay what is owed. That's so much better, Kim. You did such a good job. Everybody loves you, Kim. Desperate to avoid such a professional embarrassment, Kim obsessed over finding a way to avoid Krafton's obligation to pay the earnout. Don't you think it would have been smart to check if you overpaid before you did the contract like 4 years ago? No? Never came to mind? That's okay. That's future me's issue. The pre-brief claims Krafton head of corporate development Maria Park told Kim that Krafton would likely have to pay the earnout if sales targets were achieved, even if the studio heads were dismissed with the cause. I'm pretty sure when Kim got the news from Maria Park that just because he just fired 3 people, that doesn't mean he no longer has to pay the $250 million. That must have been a dagger to this man's heart. That's like an instant weakness potion from Minecraft. That man is devastated, and what does he do? He turns to AI. At that point, the CEO turned to artificial intelligence to help him brainstorm ways to avoid paying the earnout. The filing claims ChatGPT likewise advised that it would be difficult to cancel the earnout. And at that point, you should have just given up, Kim. At that point, give up the ball, drop it, just pay them the money that's owed. You asked ChatGPT to give you advice on how to get out of shit, a thing that is helping people across the world and agreeing with the most absurd shit I have ever heard. People are being driven into paranoia and into thinking that they are the smartest individuals in the world, and your proposal to ChatGPT was so horrible that it just said, yeah, no, I can't help you with this, man. I don't know what's going on, man. You might be a lost cause. That's even worse than being known as a professional pushover, Kim. Now you're not only known as a professional pushover, as a huge embarrassment, but also as a guy who doesn't know how to get out of shit that he dug himself. And because you tried to avoid that, you got the even worse ending, because now you're known as not only a pushover, but also as a public embarrassment. A footnote in the filing states that Krafton did not produce the ChatGPT conversations and when pressed confirmed that they no longer exist. Funny enough, no longer. No, a company representative said when asked if the claims were accurate, which like to nobody's surprise, why would they say, yeah, we did like scam people, but that's not that big of a deal. 250 million, that's pennies. This claim is simply a distraction from their own efforts to destroy evidence, such as Charlie's reminder to the other key employees to delete anything incriminating from their own ChatGPT account. Hitting you with the old switcheroo, hitting you old with the mirror card. You're actually the villain, not us. We didn't use ChatGPT, but you did. Well, you're actually the villain. I heard from a tooth fairy that you're actually the one using ChatGPT, not me. That's obviously the best way to dismiss claims, just saying, nah, actually, they are doing the thing they say we are doing. Because yeah, what's your evidence? Evidence? What is this? Court? Oh, it is? Oh, but you have evidence that we claim to be an AI-first company? No, that we didn't do that then. We do it now. Yes, we do like AI, but we would never use it for such malicious intent. What are we? We're just a small little billion-dollar company. Krafton obviously denied the allegations as well as calling it without merit. The company said that as a result of Charlie's and Max's actions, Krafton was forced to gather and keep track of ongoing attempts to repair those relationships, try to get Charlie and Max back doing their job, and work to release a successful Subnautica 2. These former executives are trying to turn that hard work into something nefarious. It's legitimately just one word against the other, but it also doesn't sound like the without merit claim from Krafton. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me, because Charlie and Max wouldn't just start a lawsuit against $1 billion corporation without any evidence to back up their claims. That would be a very dumb decision. And, you know, the CEO asking ChatGPT for help does kind of fit the news that Krafton now is an AI-first company. And in the end, I am more on the side of people who aren't part of $1 billion corporation who mostly turn out to be pretty evil evil. Anyways, because I got the question a lot, here's an update on the situation. I hope you all liked it. Leave a like and I don't know, man. Okay, just wanted to talk about this. Goodbye.